Hey y'all, it's Sunshine. So this week has just been nothing but crochet. I'm getting projects done. I got the paw print blanket done, and I got that Victorian lace blanket done. It's available for my people that are local. It turned out so cute, super cute, and real light, especially with Texas fixing to ramp up its season of fry your eyes out. So yeah. And while I was trying to figure out what to do next or where to go over next, I decided to do a little cross stitching on my Angel of Grace, because I was in the middle somewhere here, but I just love to be able to start from the top and go down. So I did chunks and chunks and chunks till I got to the top, and now I'm at the top. So let me show you that. I really got to make sure. It makes me nervous to just go up and up, on one or two strands here and there, but I feel like it might be right. I think. I'm pretty sure. I hope. What are those? Okay. Anyway, there she is so far. And I noticed it on the camera. I don't know what is going on right there. Those stitches may be pulled too tight. I don't know. But anyway, maybe I can fluff them out and fix them. I don't know yet. But anyway, there's not much else going on right now. The weather alerts have started, which is kind of like, okay. And I know we should pay attention to the weather, but they're creating unnecessary panic. Like, when we started first having a storm, they're like, it's gonna have a tornado, everybody take shelter, freaking everybody out. It's sprinkled. And I mean, I guess it's okay to be ready, and then not, you know what I'm saying? I get that, okay? But this is just unnecessary panic at times. So I don't know, but if we have weather, we have weather. There's nothing we're gonna do to stop it. So yeah. I don't have a picture of it printed. I'm still working on my shawl. I don't like how it's coming out, and I think it's because of my color choices. Because when I see the picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. Well, I don't have yarn that does this. My yarn is one color. And because that stuff, even if I could afford it, I don't know if I would buy it. Because it's really small. You're going to need a lot. And then I make this shawl. Then what am I going to do with it with this expensive yarn? It ain't going to work out. So I just decided to use to make it look like a denim one. I like it, but I don't know. It could be different. But I like it. I decided to go with the denim look because, that's the way I roll. I don't know. I saw a blanket come through where did I find this thing? I don't know how I stumbled across it, but it was a blanket for hope. It was a breast cancer awareness blanket, and it had granny squares that were colored and granny squares that were monotone, and I was like, I like this. And the receptionist at my clinic just suffered through breast cancer. And I was like, this is what I want to make her. I want to make this for her. If she doesn't like it, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody. And you got to realize that, folks. You might have good intentions to do something for somebody and to make them something beautiful. But you also got to keep in mind, not everybody likes crochet. And if they do, it's a certain color palette. It's got to be just right. You know, just don't get your heart broke if they're like, oh, and they pawn it off on somebody else. You know, you did what you thought you wanted to do, and they didn't like it. That's okay. That's okay. Don't get upset over it. So here's because I did a couple of prototypes, and I just wasn't getting the flavor I needed. So here's the square. And this is white, pink. Now this round called for purple, but I had this stripy color. I was like, okay, cool. And then this round was supposed to be called for lime green. Okay, it just looked off. So I put in this variegated. I put in this sagey green, and I think it looks like watercolors, like a flower laying on a lily pad, but the petals are watercolored. It looks so cool. So I think if I can, I don't know, printing colored paper off would be that big of a pattern. I don't know. I want to make it my church pattern, because I do crochet in the middle of church. And I know some people are like, really? Really? Well, we're not an uppity, snotty church. You know, we accept, you know, they accept everybody. And I'm not the only one that was crocheting in church. It's something that helps focus us. Some people are like myself that are just, brains won't let me focus at times, and this helps me really focus. Super simple pattern. Let me see if I can pull it up one more time. I think it's called Pearl of Hope. Let me increase this here. Yeah, A Pearl of Hope by Vanessa Smith. And she does show different colorways for different for different awarenesses. I'm doing this one for breast cancer, and she is using I don't remember what the colors are. Like double knit yarn of your choice. It's something about DK acrylic eco fusion. I don't know what that is, because this is all in metrics and meters and stuff that makes no sense to me. I'm an American, I'm Texan. All the weight of yarns is in grams. It goes by grams and meters. I have no clue. I know I'm not last remaining dinosaurs that don't use metric system. I don't know. That's what Google's for. Anyway, she said if you sew the you know that the total quantity is like 2,790 meters. I don't know. So I did the prototype, and yeah. Actually, let me show you something. I want to show you kind of my mind when I tackle these projects that are all kinds of different foreign stuff to me. This is where having a brain book comes in very handy. I do recommend having a brain book beside you to see what exactly you're doing. This is just a cheapo dollar store brain book. These are composition notebooks you can get for like 25 cents at the Walmart after school thing. And it just has all my notes, because y'all know my memory is gone. And so I was like, okay, what are we going to do here? So what I do, now this could just a generic way to doing things. You could go a million ways, but this is what works for me. I write down the name of the pattern and who it's by. Now, I put all the info that they gave of calling for a certain hook, a certain size, yada, yada, yada. And then I wrote down, okay, these are the colors it's asking me to do in this many meters. So I went on the Googles and I did, I wrote it out to where it's yardage. I still don't understand exactly what it is because I know there's yardage on the scheme, but if I'm working from my stash, I don't know. There's no labels, okay? And there's also, well, did I use some of this? Did I not use it? Is it a full scheme? I don't know. So I don't know exactly how to really turn that into scientific, yardage. I don't know. So anyway, I used their yardage, put it together like this, and then I also, like I said, I wrote down the colors, and then I went to my stash, and this is the equivalent that I got for my stash. Now, it calls for this many squares, but when they do it, the squares come out 9 centimeters, which I wrote that down because I can't figure that one out either, and put the equivalent, so it's 3.5. 9 centimeters is 3.5 inches. So when I was doing the prototype last night, I knew I was going to use either a 6 or a 6.5 millimeter hook, because with worsted weight yarn, actually, yeah, this needs to go in there. With worsted weight yarn, I knew that I was going to be using a bigger hook. I always do. When it comes to worsted weight yarn, I start with a 6 millimeter and go up. So with a 6.5 millimeter hook, I was able to determine that with this yarn and these colors and this certain hook, these will be 5.5 inches. Now, the great thing is there is no math when it comes to this, joining them. There is no seams. I mean, there's seams, duh, but there's not going to be losing that much to join it to something else. So I don't know exactly how wide I want it just yet. I'm not in a hurry or stress to really nail down that. I'm just going to make them, and then whenever I get enough, I'll decide. I need to make the companion square, the solid, because it has, this is one square is the colored, and the other square is going to be done in, I think it's this white color, if I remember right. Sorry guys, just had a brain fudge. Yeah, the monochrome square is going to be worked in the vanilla, which is this color. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. I do want to make a monochrome one just to make sure, but in theory they should come out at 5.5, about 5.5 inches. Now, the other question that I know I see a lot on these groups that I'm part of is people are like, well, how do I block? How do I block? My solution? I don't block. I do not have the time nor the patience to do. I have plenty of time. I just don't have the patience to deal with blocking. And I don't think blocking is necessary. That is my opinion. The reason I don't think it's necessary for me is because I've done this so much that I know that if my hooks, the smaller my hooks are, the worse the tension's going to be, and it's going to draw up and be weird. So I know certain yarns, I start with a certain hook and go up until I get this. This is not blocked, and you can see how flat and perfect it is. And that is because it's taken me a lot of years to nail this down. There's a lot of teachers on YouTube and WIPS and everything that are saying You know, worsted weight yarn, you should use like a 4 or 5 millimeter hook. Well, that may be fine and dandy for y'all, but that's still too little of a hook in my world, in my opinion. And then when I started deciding, you know what, let's just crank this up and see how it goes. And once I took that initiative to crank it up and to try the different hooks, I got perfect flat squares. I did. And this is absolutely no block. And when I do finish them, I do this number. I go like this, and then I just lightly, and it lays that yarn flat. Lays it flat every time. And I'll join them like this. Now when I keep them, when I do keep them, you know, in whatever, I try to use, I think it's over there somewhere. I'll try to use a basket that'll hold this size, and keep them stored lay flat. Because if you just wad them up and store them however willy-nilly, then you're probably going to have to block them. I don't do that. I just don't. I know steamers, those handheld garment steamers, I've seen people use those and it works really well. So you just got to be mindful about some things that you do, and just pay attention and go from there. And like I said, brain books are genius books, because I also, you all know, I keep track of what projects I'm doing, and the brain book saves the clutter of the record book. Does that make sense? Because there's some pages where I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, you know what, let's put it on the brain book, nail it out completely, then put it in the tracker book. So that way, if I want to do this pattern again, I can go to the tracker book or the brain book and say, hey, this is what I did for the last one, and it worked. So anyway, guys, I'm sorry for the long chatty videos, but I had so much to talk about today. So I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and take care. Bye, guys.